Did Husker ball need a big win, let alone a top 20 win, and it got it versus Purdue on Sunday. The 83-80 thriller in Lincoln ended a 5-game losing skid and is the second top 20 conference win of the year. So we bring in the Nebraska head coach, Tim Miles. And, Coach, you've had a few days now to think about that Purdue win. But let me put it in perspective again for fans. Number one, you had a player who had the flu. Number two, you were shorthanded because of injuries. Number three, you gave a kid his first start. Number four, you play a kid who you hadn't played the game before. And with all that, you still beat a top 20 Purdue team. Looking back, how do you put that in perspective?
It sounds like we have a rash of bad decisions by the head coach.
Get out.
As we looked at the game, there's no doubt that we had to make some changes. We got our bigger lineup in against Purdue because they can hurt you in so many ways. They've got terrific size inside. They make three-pointers. On the road, they shoot 48% and make almost 12 a game, which they did better than that against us. So, so we put Jordy Chmunga in the lineup for his first career start. Jordy's a guy that, it seemed like I wanted to get him more time, give him more confidence, and this was a good time to do it. He was going to have Hercules and Caleb Swanigan to lean against, so we did that. Michael Jacobson, you're right. Michael, I went to check him in the first half, and he wasn't there, Lisa. He was out vomiting, so I kind of scratched my head, and we kept Jordy in the game. And at halftime, Michael was laying on a gurney, and he's got an IV in his arm. And I'm like, kid, man, don't kill yourself for a basketball game. And he's like, Coach, I'll be there. And he had two big-time plays at the end of the game. He had a steal, and he walled up on Caleb, and then he got a putback on a missed three in transition. And then he had I don't know if you've got it, but if you can find it, he had the best fist pump that I've ever seen. Tiger Woods in his prime couldn't even compete with Michael Jacobson.
Let me interrupt you there for a second. What exactly goes into a good fist pump? Because I saw that you were quoted as saying that, too, after the game. Yeah, well, first of all, he took a nice step forward, and so he got down in almost a crouch position. So you're down low, right? And then you bring the hammer. You start it about the shoulder, and you bring it good and low and finish it high. And you do that, and you're set on a fist pump. No doubt. I gotcha. It does a little bit start like the Tiger Woods fist pump, though.
Yeah. Well, he's wearing those cleats. He doesn't want to kill the green, and so our guys, big deal. We're on a wood floor. But that was big. And then our bench guys, like you alluded to earlier, Jack McVay coming in, hitting 4 threes. Jariah Horn didn't play the game before, wasn't on their scouting report, came in and played really well, and I'm so proud of him. They kind of epitomize our team, which is we've had a lot of close games. We've come from behind several times to win. We've come from behind to take the lead and then lose, but we always fight back.
I want to talk about some of the individuals that you just brought up, and let's start with Jordy Chmunga. And as you mentioned, you don't necessarily always give a kid his first start and say, you go against Isaac Haas and you go against Caleb Swanigan and good luck, but that's what you did. And Sean Morris said during the game, hey, you know what, the future for Jordy Chmunga is so bright because he wants to learn. Can you paint the picture maybe for viewers on how you have seen that from him, not just in games, but in practices?
Well, first of all, Jordy's a special soul. He's a great kid with a tremendous attitude. There was a time when he missed a layup in practice, and I made him run. I made the whole team run and kind of made him the GOAT. And the next time, he had the same exact play, and I thought, well, he had a hard layup, and he made it, and he fell down right in front of me, and he looked up and winked at me and smiled. And that kind of epitomizes Jordy. Here, I put him in the face of death with his teammates, and the next time he has to make that play, he does make it, and he just smiles at you. He's really a refreshing kid, a great attitude, and he's got an excellent skill level. He can actually shoot the three. We just haven't let him yet, and we're going to in time, but, he's got a lot of skill.
Yeah, I love your quote, "in the face of death," because I think a lot of people, when they face the Purdue front court, might feel like that. You know, Matt Painter had a comment that I was kind of amused by at the end of the game when he was talking about Jariah Horn, and a reporter asked him if anything surprised him about Horn, and he said, yeah, I was surprised that he played. Because you didn't play him the game before against Northwestern. What does it say in a time where a lot of millennials want instant gratification, and the fact that you sat this player down the game before, but he had obviously worked hard enough to earn some playing time back against Purdue?
Well, there's a couple things about that. It's really refreshing because Matt Painter's usually not very amusing at all. And so for him to pull that one off, I'm proud of Matt. And he's a good guy. He always clarifies he's a summer friend of mine, not a season friend. And so I get it. But it's true. Jariah, I think, epitomizes that attitude that, you know, I'm going to show you that I can earn my minutes. And Jariah is a kid that can get baskets. He can score. And boy, that's nice to have at the end of the night when you look up at the scoreboard and count points.
You kind of switched, and you're always very strong on the psychological part of the game. And for the first time, you put players for a home game. You put them in a hotel in Lincoln to improve their focus. Do you have your Wednesday night reservation for that home game against Michigan State?
We have dinner plans. We have breakfast plans. We've got their room assignments, the whole deal. We know who's with the snoring guys, who's not. We got it all worked out. We're ready.
So while the
Go back to the hotel.
So the managers not only record, you know, deflections and rebounds, but they know who the snorer is and what guy will stay up late to watch the late night movie. That's how it works?
We're taking analytics to a whole new level here at Nebraska.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. Well, you take on Michigan State on Thursday, a Spartan team now getting a little momentum after beating their rivals in Michigan. What concerns you most about Michigan State?
Well, Tom Izzo. You know, he's a Hall of Fame coach. What I really love about playing Michigan State is you learn so much about your team during the game and after. And he always does such a good job of getting his team to execute, defend, rebound, to do so many things. And, you know, and so they've really got a great team. And so we look forward to the matchup. I love playing Michigan State. And like I say, it should be what a night for us. Tyronn Lue's coming in, the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who had an outstanding career here, Hall of Fame career. He's having his jersey retired. It'll be an overflow game. So I'm sure they'll be yelling at Coach Izzo and the refs, not me. He's
not going to bring in Kyrie or LeBron and try and sneak him in with a Nebraska uniform or anything for that game, is he?
Not that it didn't come up.
Well, as always, we appreciate the time, we appreciate the transparency, and, of course, the humor. Tim Miles, thank you.
Thank you.